Tonight, I show an engine, I kill an engine, and I drive a car. Hydrolocking. The potential death for an engine. But what is it? So first of all, I am no scientist. Anyway, here's the simplest way to understand hydrolock. Think of your engine as a giant air pump. It's designed to squeeze air and fuel into a tiny space. Air is easy to compress, but water, it's like basically a solid wall. So when water enters the combustion chamber, your piston tries to force it up, but hits a literal brick wall of liquid. Something has to give. In most cases, it's not the engine block that cracks first, but it's the connecting rod that snaps or bends. And if you are really unlucky, that rod will even punch a hole through the side of your block, and that's game over for your engine and your wallet. The reason this is so violent is because of leverage. The crankshaft is a massive piece of steel acting like a lever, and the momentum of your car's flywheel is forcing the piston up with tons of pressure. That water isn't moving, so the metal has no choice but to fold, which then looks something like this. For comparison, a normal connecting rod should be straight and look something like this. It is also important to note that hydrolock can have many different causes, such as the driver being an idiot and trying to drive through water that is way too deep. But also damaged seals, head gaskets, engine blocks, and cylinder heads can lead to liquids entering your combustion chamber. Signs of a hydrolocked engine can be it not turning over, some strange noises like knocking, water coming from the dam exhaust, and the engine producing white smoke and stalling after you've decided to be an idiot and drive through deep water. If you suspect your engine is hydrolocked, do not try to restart it. Trying to force the engine to turn over is what turns a fixable wet engine into a dead one. Instead, remove the spark plugs and crank the engine manually to expel any water from the cylinders. So now, we are in BeamNG. And I am about to drive this. A standard off-the-line Gavril D-Series D15 V8 extra cab into this and river. And my task is to see exactly when the intake starts breathing water instead of air. On the D15, the intake is already pretty high, but it's definitely no snorkel. First, I'll just creep in at low RPMs. And as soon as the water reaches the intake, there we go, you can see intake, the engine floods and eventually dies. But watch what happens when I rev the absolute crap out of the car. As you can see, the engine floods pretty much instantly. The engine is acting like a high-powered vacuum, sucking that water straight into the chambers. Now, for the next challenge, I have traveled to the top secret overdriven testing site just off the road up at Radiator Springs. My task now is to see if speed can actually save the engine. The theory is simple, it's the bow wave effect. If I hit this water at 100 km an hour, the frame should push a wall of water forward, creating a dry pocket for the intake to breathe. Since the D-series is pretty heavy and like a wall in the wind, there's a very high chance that it will fail, but we'll see. Okay, we're approaching the water, yes. And it actually made it. That is impressive. And while technically the engine sputtered a bit, it didn't die and dried up. This is likely because the water couldn't fill the cylinder completely, and therefore the pressure wasn't enough to bend anything. So, in order to not hydrolock the engine, you either have to go extremely fast, which is questionable in some cases and not doable in others, or just don't drive through water. That was it from me though. Good night.